What If It's Cool is proudly brought to you by Respo Clothing. Feel like a champion by wearing the merch from all the stars, including Luke Resner, B Squared, Savannah Rowe, John Stop Action, Nova Nichols, The Cooters, and my personal favourite, Conflict Axiom. So feel like a champion by checking out Respo Clothing. They can be found on Facebook and on Instagram. Victoria Pro Wrestling presents Falcon's Fury, happening on Saturday the 6th of April at the Strathmore Balls Club. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. The finals of the Alpha Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Tournament conclude at Alpha Pro Wrestling's All or Nothing, happening on Saturday, April 13th at the Pipework Market. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Before you see All or Nothing, make sure to check out Alpha Pro Wrestling's Energy 3, also happening at the Pipework Market. Entry fee is only $2. Make sure to check it out. Adrenaline Pro Wrestling presents Breakout 40, happening on April 26, featuring the up-and-coming stars of Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. MXW presents Game Over, happening on Saturday, April 27th at the Sunbury Memorial Hall. Ticket link is in the description. Make sure to check it out. Hello, welcome to another episode of What If It's Cool, the show where we talk about anything and everything that is cool in the world today. I didn't start the James Marshall OnlyFans chant, I just perfected it, Daniel Paul Crow. On this episode, the first of 3 episodes featuring the man himself, James Marshall. In part 1, we talk about his short film, Here Is Your Winner, a funny story of how he discovered Australian wrestling, and what happened in his rookie year. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Getting Heat for Just Smiling with James Marshall. How do I start this episode? Firstly, make your goddamn OnlyFans. And like I said on the vlogcast, stop blaming me for that because you were the bastard who started it. Because you said
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, look, hey, if you guys are not wondering, let's just play a little clip, okay?
You can find me on Facebook, unfortunately, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch TV. I don't know. There could be an OnlyFans there. I'm everywhere.
Is that what we want to see though? Your OnlyFans?
I don't know. You tell me.
See?
I'm going to claim that was AI generated. I don't recall that at all.
Jeez, you really are a bitch. Now, I can't keep doing this. James Marshall, thank you for being part of What If It's Cool. I know it's been 9 months since we've been trying to get this done.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Well, in all fairness, though, you have been really busy, but, not only just working, firstly going back into wrestling, because when we first started, you were, you took a bit of time off. You went back getting in your fitness regime. You're going back into wrestling, won a couple of titles with Conflict Axiom, and you're also doing, a short film as well.
Yes, that is the thing I've been working on. Oh boy, what a story! What a ride that was.
Well, let's before we get into the wrestling side of things, I do want to talk about this project because, well, I'm in it, and yes. I don't know if you've seen the footage yet. I've alluded to this on Reaction Wrestling Wednesday. So if you see me in the background, especially the scenes where I'm commentating with Tomo, you will see me doing this. Marshall, what am I saying?
You could be saying a lot of things. You tell me, what were you saying?
And I will admit this too, because I got Tomo to do it as well. I'm saying James Marshall OnlyFans, James Marshall OnlyFans, James Marshall OnlyFans. So there's a lot of bits that we shot that did not require us to do it. So I thought, there's a bit of an Easter egg if Marshall was ever going to be on the show, which thankfully he is down now before the release of this. I was going to tell this story so you can look at it as you're doing the edits.
Beautiful. I can't wait now. Oh goodness, I might have to. I'll find some footage and we'll chuck it on here. I'm sure it's there somewhere.
It's somewhere in the archives.
I'm sure we caught it.
Well, let's talk about the project. Firstly, how did it come around?
Okay, so anyone who knows me and anyone who follows me on the socials and all that sort of stuff, I haven't exactly hidden it. I do. I am studying my bachelor of film and TV at a certain institution, um, and so pretty much just one of the classes that they offer is it's a major project of essentially a grad film, and as I'm part of the class, I had to write something for it. I wasn't originally planning on doing anything like this. It was just like, okay, we need to write up some scripts. We're going to do all these films throughout the next 3 trimesters. Um, and then I had an original. I did have an idea that I had written in past classes that I wasn't really keen on doing yet because it was something that I wrote with Savannah. Savannah
Mm.
and I wrote this story, and I'm like, no, I'd rather do that story when we can both be involved in it. This is just a school project. I'd rather save that. So on the when the lecturers asked me like, hey, right, what's your idea? I'm like, um, uh, so I've got this idea about a young wrestler who quickly learns that the business isn't what it's all cracked up to be. He wants to be the champion. Rah, rah, rah. They're like, oh, that sounds really interesting. In my head, I'm like, I hope so. I made it up on the spot right then and there. So I was like, okay, well, I'm here now. I better start actually writing it. Um, and yeah, it just developed over the next couple of weeks. I wrote up the script. There's a million different changes. Like the the script that we use in the final product is vastly different to what I originally wrote. But I think it's a lot better because I'll be honest, the lecturers ripped me to shreds and said, "Look, not necessarily in a bad way.
Mm.
It was all constructive to say, look, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work." Now, a lot of other people might hear that and go, "Oh, well, no, you. This is my story. This is my artistic vision." And I understand that and I respect that completely. Right? It's the story you want to tell. You tell it. Whereas with me, I thought, okay, that's some pretty good criticism. And when I read through the script again, I could see it. I'm just like,
Mm.
oh, okay. Yeah, no, they're right. This doesn't make sense. Why should we care about this character? Why should we care about that character? So I completely rewrote it with, and I again gave people a reason to care about said characters. Um, but yeah, from there, that's what I mean. It just developed into what it is now. Like as part of the class, it was the whole point of the class was that you've got to write and direct your own film. Um, and I got really lucky in that. Um, pardon me. I got really lucky in that I had such a unique story because has, no one's done wrestling at for especially for a uni project that I know of. No one's ever done anything like that. Everyone's doing horrors or comedies or dramas and all sort of stuff. Which don't be wrong, it's awesome. I'll be first to say this. I've worked on everyone else in my class. I've worked on their film in some way, and they're all freaking awesome.
Mm.
Like I'm editing one of them, and it's going to be dope. Like so, keep an eye out for that. I might give it a shout out later. But no, so for my film, Here Is Your Winner, which I got to say this, it was originally called Crash Boom Bang.
Okay. Before we before we ask that, why? Because was Jason Crash going to be the star of that?
No, but it was heavily inspired by him.
Ah, okay.
Um, and yeah, look, we're going to break down some walls and barriers here in the world. I'll be the first to say that the wrestling business is, again, it's not what it's cracked up to be. There's a lot, like it's the greatest thing I've ever done. I can't imagine doing anything else, but there is a lot of there's always going to be shenanigans, drama, and bullshit behind the scenes.
Mm.
That's just the truth. Um, what I wanted to do with the film is show that, but then also show the good side of it. I thought it was a really good story there because you don't know about it in Australia. You don't know much about Aussie wrestling and all that bull that happens unless you're in the industry.
Mm.
And that's not to say I'm trying to expose it, but I just feel like it's a good thing to know that in every industry there's people that don't want to see you succeed and all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And I feel like with this story, we see that, but then we see the positive outcomes that come later, which goes back to why it's called Crash Boom Bang, is because, again, not necessarily to single Crash out, but he's been in the business for what, 10, 13 years, something like that. I don't know. And I've heard stories from him about the best stuff and the worst stuff, and I know he's been through it. I've been through it. I know a lot of people have been through it. That's just where the initial idea came from. I'm like, oh, Crash. And the story I was writing at the time was just, I was just taking bits of stories he's told me, bits like Chris Laws told me, bits that other people in the business have told me, and putting them all into one. That's why I started as Crash Boom Bang. And it was even spelled with a K.
Of course it was.
And I remember I messaged him and said, hey, I've got this idea for a film and I want you to be in it. And he was just like, what? But anyway, eventually, it developed. I got some feedback from my producer who said, look, Crash Boom Bang's cool and all, but no one outside of wrestling is going to understand it. No one outside of your circle is going to get it. We need a name that's more relatable, more believe, makes sense to the story. And I just couldn't think of anything. And then I thought of Jem saying, here is your winner, such and such.
That's a good impression.
Don't kill me, Jem. I love you. No, but then I'll be straight up. I got the name thinking about Jem announcing. And that's why I thought, okay, no, I need her in the movie too.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. That's why we got here is your winner, because that's what we hear at the end of a match. The story being told without revealing too much. This kid wants to hear that. He knows he's made it if he hears, here is your winner, and then his name. I've realized I've rambled so much, and get used to it, because I'm just going to ramble and talk about other things and different side stories and all that sort of stuff.
It's okay, Jason Crash. It's okay.
Yes. At the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, 100% Jason Crash.
We'll get back to him later on this episode.
Yes. But yeah, that's how that came to be. I hope I even answered that, but that's
no, but that's actually really, really cool, because you have addressed something that I'm glad someone has finally addressed it. Having feedback, and sometimes feedback can be negative, but you can turn it into a positive. And I know I am definitely one of those guys goes, if you don't believe my vision, off, but if it's done correctly, though, which I believe your lecturer had done, I think I will take that on, because I'm always willing to hear feedback as long as it's done in a loving way, not malicious. And I think that's something that we tend to forget a lot, especially to kids today. They just think they just want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the negative side of certain things.
That's exactly right, and it's the same in the wrestling business as well.
Yeah.
I could go on and on about that, which we can in this episode if we wish, if we get to that. But that's just it. I believe how are you going to get better if you can't take people's criticisms?
Exactly. So how did I come to the mix of this?
Yes, that fantastic cameo.
Oh, there's another secret cameo. If you look at carefully in the background, you'll see me doing this. in the kitchen. By the way, I did not plan to do that. It was actually Nova that pointed out, because why are you sticking your head out? Why don't you just come and sit down? I went, oh.
Oh, amazing.
I will say this though, and I said this on the previous episode, I have never felt more comfortable, more accepted, and just the whole atmosphere was great when
I'm glad.
being on your set. Just didn't like the fact that I was out in the rain for 20 minutes.
Were you?
Yeah, you remember how it was like really it was piss poor raining, and
Oh,
no one can I didn't because I can hear that you guys were filming, so I didn't want to knock on the frame, and I'm thinking, what am I gonna do?
that's
And then
right.
luckily, TM Phoenix opens the door, sees me, goes, "Oh, you did, God, let's get you in, get you in." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and I love it. He goes, "Oh, someone get a towel. This guy's wet." I'm like, "Dude, it's all good.
The
It's all good."
treatment. That is the actor treatment right there. Phoenix
Nah,
looked after you, my
he
boy.
did. Oh, I hadn't even met him like face to face properly yet, and if I remember correctly, I don't think he lost the mask yet, so I didn't actually know who he properly was just yet.
Ah,
I had suspicions, but I didn't know, and I think yeah, it was a week before that that he got
right.
unmasked, and I remember because I was like, "Who's this?" And then yeah, I'm not gonna reveal who told me, but someone told me. I went,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, this guy's awesome!" Like, I was,
The secret is I unmasked him just so he could be unmasked in my film. Oh
uh,
god.
let's not talk about me because this show's not about me.
Oh,
I
actually,
just
no.
want to say,
I do want to talk about. I'm going to put you over strong right now. I'm going
oh,
to why you're in the film, right? I knew from the start there were certain key people that I wanted to have involved because whether it be because they've done a lot for the industry, they've been doing it for ever, or they're just really close friends,
mm,
right? And as the director, I have that authority. I
mm,
can do whatever I want. With you, I always knew one way or another whether, like, I'll be honest,
mm,
the part that I got you for wasn't my original plan,
mm-hmm.
but I wanted to have you in it in one way, shape, or form because of all of this stuff that you do, the what if it's cool stuff, because it's cool. I don't know if I said this on the last on when we did the conflict axiom one,
Mm.
but as far as I know, no one was doing this. No one was showcasing local Aussie wrestling like you have. If it wasn't for you, I feel like there wouldn't be as much eyes on us as there is. And I've said it from the friggin'
Oh,
start.
stop.
No, I've said it from the start that we need more people like you doing what you're doing because like Aussie wrestling as a whole is was so underground. This is the way we get it out there. It's the only way we can. Hell, even if it doesn't get us, you know, worldwide and whatever, at least at the end of the day, the people that you're interviewing feel like they feel that little bit more important, and what they're doing is a good thing
Well,
because of what they're doing.
I never understood why it's it's not really done. Like like obviously what is cool, we do have a lot of wrestlers on the show, but it's not a wrestling show by
Yeah,
any
yeah,
means, you know, because we do have other people on. The one of the main reasons why I tend to get more wrestlers on simply because one, they're a little bit more easy to access to. Two, you know, it's an industry that I desperately love. But
mm.
three, I don't know. I've always seemed to resonate with people in sport to begin with, even though I'm not much of a sporty person anyway. But yeah, I've always loved that. And when I thought of the concept of hate, and I've said this before on Kid Valiance's episode, I am really shocked that no one in the history of at least Australian podcasting has ever thought, you know what, why don't we do work shoots? You know, and like hype up a match here or there.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
how
that's just
like they're fun to do. Like the only problem I have is if I have like someone who you know is just very animated and makes me laugh, you know, and I've said this before, if you see me doing this in the middle of anything I do, it's because I'm trying not trying not to smile, or I'm, you know, literally holding myself so I don't laugh. Which happened a lot on the Valito and Adam Crow episode.
I was gonna say me whenever your cousin talks.
Oh my
Cousin,
God.
whatever, I don't know. What is Adam Crow's relation? I can't remember.
Oh, we're cousins. So
Yeah, yeah, anytime that man talks, I'm like, what a king.
oh no, the best thing was at Alpha recently when he was going right at me at the commentary desk. And I did say this on the vodcast. He is actually spitting on me, and
He would too.
I had to literally put my hand up there because I'm literally about to laugh. And what I'm doing, so as I'm doing that, I'm actually pinching my thigh because I'm trying to like not laugh at all. And that's why you get from seeing like I'm about to smile, then all I'm dead serious because it's starting to hurt like.
I gotta that reminds me, I've got a secret I can tell you
Yes.
as to why. Have you noticed, right? For the
Mm.
most part, at least I don't know if I still do it now, but early, James Marshall was always smiling.
Yes.
I am known for that grin, and I take pride in knowing that I just have to walk out and do this, and I get booed out the building. That is because I cannot stop smiling. I'm corpsing every single time I go out there for the most part. Like, especially back in the early days, which we'll get to, I was just so excited and happy to be in the ring.
Mm.
I was always smiling. And one of the things that it might have even been Tricky who told me is you got to stop smiling. You got to, you're a wrestler. You can't smile. I'm like, yeah, I got a boss. Goes out there. So that's how I became the smiley James Marshall because I just can't stop smiling. But it's kind of worked into my character because
I
people
like.
hate people. No, they love it, but they hate the smile, and that's why I think that's the only reason I get booed is because I'm getting grit on my face.
In saying that, I just want to tell a quick tidbit. I already told this off camera. I want to tell on camera at the moment. Uh, Obviously, we're mates and we have a lot of fun at each other's expense. I actually recently, at the last Alpha show, had a guy, not a kid, because I get a lot of kids come up to me about this, but I had a guy probably about my age, probably maybe early 30s, come up to me and actually said, "Do you legitimately hate James Marshall?" I went, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Well, you're always making fun of him. Like I bet you anyone you're hurting his feelings." I went, "I, I Marshall and me are good mates, right? How do you respond to a mate? You make fun of him, like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing." And I literally shook this guy's hand and said, "Mate, if I hate this guy, I wouldn't be wearing Conflict Axiom merch. I wouldn't be plugging Conflict Axiom as much because like I know that if I was legitimately making fun of this guy, I have Blake Curtis, Som, Nate Nitro, and the boss, Chris Law, coming for my ass. Right?
Exactly.
Like all kayfabe aside,
Yeah.
like I know they can kick my ass. I would not be making fun of him all that way doing, if I was doing that. So yeah, I don't legitimately hate him. I love him. I just as the character of DPC Daniel Paul Crow, yes, I do.
See, that just tells me though, kayfabe is alive and well in some people, and that makes me so happy.
Oh my God. Your well not your but Nate not well my lover Nate Nitro's head. My God. I actually got a couple of hello baby. For those who are listening,
What up?
Marshall is holding up
What up,
Nate
bro?
Nitro's head.
No,
Um
Nitro, good to see you, but this is my interview, buddy. Go away.
we'll talk later. Yeah. Oh, that was pretty hard.
Oops. Sorry, boss.
He's got a hard head. He can live. But no, the kids actually said, "Why do you talk to?" Because like obviously I was filming that skit for the podcast, and I'm like, "Why are you talking to him like he's real?" I'm just like, "He is real."
Well, he is real. What do you want about?
Yeah.
I,
And
he's going
and
in the
then, and
heck
then
at the
they kept
moment.
hitting him out of my hand. I was like, "Guys, like I get
Oh,
it."
that's why he's all bruised.
Yeah.
Oh, there's actually a dent. Oh, hang on. Uh,
The one on the side of the left
there's,
on so left hand side. Yeah.
yeah, there's dent. Oh, there's dents all over the place.
Yeah, because
Those kids are brutal.
oh man, if their parents weren't there and they'd see what they were doing, like they probably would have broken Nate's head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very lucky, very lucky.
So just for finishing up on Here Is Your Winner, when can we
Oh,
possibly
yes.
see this coming out? Because one, I'm excited to see it, but um, I know my co-host on Reaction Wrestling Wednesdays, John L. Crossfire, is 100%. He wants to see it now.
That makes me so glad. I miss that guy. I have not seen him in such a long time. Um, um. So the thing is with that now, there's a big chance it could have been finished by now, but due to it being a uni project, we have to do it within a certain time frame.
Mm.
Which I think we start back next week or something, and the whole class is a post production class. So my editor, that's when he's allowed to work on it.
Mm.
So maybe April,
Okay.
I can't. I can't confirm when that's going to be exactly, but April kind of sticks out in my head because I think that's around the time I'm supposed to graduate, assuming I don't everything up. There will be, as far as I know, there will be a proper premiere.
At the Astor?
We, so I hope so. But I expect you there with all the bells and whistles on.
Yeah, I won't. I won't do what I did at the Hotel Underground premiere, where I racked up with the what of it's called to merchandise, and everyone else is wearing a suit. I'll make sure I wear a suit this time.
Good man. And just like that, I'm going to tell everyone to wear Waterford School merch.
Speaking of my merch, it's not available yet, but it will be available thanks to our sponsor here at Waterford School, Respo Clothing. Make sure to work out. Jesus Christ, I can't do lines today.
Take two. Action.
That's usually my line. Make sure to check out Respo Clothing on Instagram and on Facebook at Respo Clothing. They definitely have a lot of amazing merch from not only from yourself, Marshall, but also from Nova, Son, Luke Resner, and Savannah Rowe. So definitely check that out and make sure to demand that the Waterford School merchandise come out soon. But as I said previously, I've been pretty lazy. I haven't given them my logo yet, so I'm going to have to get on top of that as soon as possible. Now, I've obviously known you for a few years, and I obviously wasn't. I didn't first saw you at Adrenaline Pro Wrestling, but I want to know this: how did you get into the industry itself?
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah,
All right, do you want to start from when I actually got into the industry, or do you want to start from when I first discovered there was Aussie wrestling? Because this is a story.
that's true because like when you first started, it wasn't really as big as what it is now. So yeah,
So
how did you discover Aussie wrestling?
okay, so Blake Curtis and I have been friends for too long. I want to since primary school. I think grade 2, grade 3, something like that. We uh we were walking down the street one day in Hampton Park.
Mm.
There was a poster, like this was around 2005, I think.
Mm.
So we would have been about 10 or 11, something like that. We still believed in the business. Well, we didn't know it was the business, but we believed it. We thought it was real. We believed everything we saw. We thought the Undertaker was actually supernatural, all that sort of fun stuff. Just like him and Kane are really brothers. So we saw
or like me and Adam Amelia are really related.
So we saw a poster on a fish and chip shop in Hampton Park, and it was PCW.
Mm.
And on that poster, I remember I think you had Tricky D, you had Daniel Swagger, Crackerjack was maybe on. No, actually, no, Crackerjack wasn't on there, but I think Joel Bateman was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Man had hair. That was strange.
Yeah,
thinking back on it now, I'm like, Joel with hair. What
I recently just saw a video of him with hair, and I went, "What?" Like I prefer him with what he looks now. I just like with hair, he just looks weird. Weird in a good way, Joel. Don't kick my ass on this one.
So speaking of hair, there was this other person who we saw on there who had very long, dark hair, eyeliner on. He had fishnets on and was doing this. He was doing this.
Oh god, right? I think I know who this is.
And me and Curtis are like, bro, that's Jeff Hardy's cousin. Is that Jeff Hardy? Oh my god, there's WWE's here. Like, we thought this was WWE, and we didn't know who these other people were. We're like, this is WWE. See, that's Jeff Hardy. No, that's Jeff Hardy's cousin. We gotta go. And then we learned this is Jarrett Craven. For those playing at home,
yes,
Jarrett Craven is the Revenant Chris Law. So we went to this PCW show. I think it might have been because they used to do shows in Rowville. I think it was a Rowville show. It might have been
it would have been in Dandenong somewhere because the Rowville shows was when they did the relaunch, I think.
No. So this might have when they just got to Rowville.
Oh, okay.
Because I do remember specifically seeing Jarrett Craven come out in the Polish house doing his bloody Raven pose and that sort of stuff, and where he thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I don't remember if we got to actually meet him, but we remember seeing him and we were like, this is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Only a couple of years later, we're like, oh, maybe he's not related to Jeff Hardy after all. Once we realized what was going on in the world, but yeah, no. Ever since we saw that poster, it was like, holy crap, there's wrestling here.
Mm.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it one day. Um, and like we saw so many cool names back then. Obviously, yeah, Jarrett Craven was the guy for us. We also saw there was Chris Knight, Joel Bateman, as I said, Swagger. Um,
You would have had
yeah,
Mad Dog there as well.
Mad Dog, yeah, Mad Dog was there. I I want to say Vixen was there, but I can't remember.
2005, think I think it may have been the year later. I think 2006.
Maybe
I do remember seeing her on posters around that point.
because I know I'd seen Vixen live at some point in my childhood, but
Mm.
but yeah. So all those old names. There's another big name that was there, but I won't mention him. But yeah, like we just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And at this time, I don't know if there was any other wrestling companies in Australia.
Think
I
we
feel
had
like
PWS, sorry, PWA,
PWA
because Tommy Hellfire was a part of that, and
was that in Victoria.
that was in Victoria.
Okay.
And we also, I can't remember the organization, but it was WSW before it was WSW. They did it. They were kind of touring as well, but I think they only did it for like 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Well, so yeah,
Yeah.
we were like obviously we were kids. We all we knew was PCW.
Mm.
And so we frequently went to the shows on and off. I even Sinister is another name that
Oh my
comes to
God,
mind.
Sinister and Enforcer
Yes, Enforcer
that's
as well.
that's when they first started. It was
Yep,
around that point. That's right.
love those guys. Oh, I mean, as a kid, I hated them because they're the big bad guys. I didn't know any better.
Mm.
But yeah, that's the history there. That's where we discovered Aussie wrestling was through PCW. But anyway, we went to the shows on and off. Obviously, saw Mr. Big as well.
Hmm.
I used to have one of his shirts back in the day. It wouldn't fit me anymore. But yeah, like I said, on and off, and then fast forward through the years, we did kind of start to grow out of it a little bit when we got into high school. Obviously we got more into music and all that sort of stuff, which is another story we'll get into.
Hmm.
But it was always there. We always watched it every now and then. But the product at the time, WWE, was atrocious.
Oh God, yeah. How was
Like
it?
we're talking 2010, 2011. It was just like, nah, I can't even. But we,
Three letters. TNA. That is all.
yeah, no,
Thank you.
that's when we started. We followed Jeff Hardy where he went. So
So did I.
yeah. But anyway, fast forward a bit. Around it was it was my 18th birthday. After I turned 18, I thought, you know what? It. I'm gonna let's just do it. I'm gonna do it.
Mm.
I tried to convince Curtis. He didn't want to come with me at the time. I think it was might have been a medical thing for whatever reason. He didn't do it with me.
Mm.
But yeah, I remember. I think I originally thought it was one date, but Ratty reached out to me and reminded me it was in August 2014, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, contacted PCW, went in to do my tryout, met Tricky, met Tone Philippe, and I think Mark Cage was there as well. And yeah, did my tryouts, and yeah, that's how it started.
Well,
Started at PCW.
talk me through that tryout. Because I don't think I've ever actually asked anybody, what's actually entitled. What do you have to do for a tryout?
So
Exactly.
the tryout was essentially just their way of, the way Tone put it to me was, this is our way of knowing that you're coachable and that
Mm.
you can do this. And it was just you go through your roles, all your safety stuff. They teach you how to bump, teach you how to throw a strike, all that sort of stuff. And pretty much, look, as long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself, you're in. Let's go.
Mm.
Let's learn things. And best decision I've ever made in my life. I can safely say I don't know. I've said this to Savannah. I've said this to Curtis. I've said this to everyone. I don't know what I'd be doing now if it wasn't for wrestling. You can. I know my parents would always say, "Oh yeah, no, you'll grow out of it one day. You'll grow out of it one day." Like even when we were doing bloody backyard wrestling stuff here, like I'd have all my friends over, we'd be throwing each other around on the grass like idiots, and then turn 18 and I go into the training and mum's sitting there going, "Oh well, okay, I guess you didn't grow out of it. Good job." And but that's the thing now. My parents even know like there's all I do is wrestling. If like I don't even know whether there's so much I can talk about here. It's wrestling, wrestling, filmmaking, wrestling, music, wrestling.
And the occasional Twitch stream.
Yeah, well, that the only reason that doesn't happen is because I'm lazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we after we did the tryout, and it was I still remember the first time walking up there because this is when it was in Hallam. First person I met was Tricky, and in my head at the time I'm like, "Holy shit, you're Tricky D. I know you. I've been watching. I've been watching for a while. Obviously, in my head a little bit, I'm like, oh, maybe Jarrett Craven will be here, but I don't. I think he was gone wrestling elsewhere, retired. I don't know what he was doing at the time, but
I think that's when he was in Perth from memory.
maybe yeah.
Yeah.
But I hadn't thought about him in many years. Um, and just jumping in the ring for the first time was like, holy shit, I'm actually in here. What the and when I took my first bump, oh boy, did I learn it wasn't a trampoline.
Oh boy. I think when we see each other next, we should probably do a bit in the vodcast where you could actually explain how uh
Yeah.
hard that ring is.
Oh, I've got a story about that I can share to really show how hard that ring is.
All right, let's go.
So after the first session, the first tryout, one of the things I was told was you're going to wake up tomorrow feeling like you've just been hit by a bus. And let me tell you, I've never felt pain like that before. The next morning, I couldn't move. It's almost like when you get the flu and you've got body aches and that sort of stuff. Imagine that times 10, especially when you've never thrown yourself around the ring before. That's the body's first exposure to it.
Mm-hmm.
That was, yeah. I think that's why they do the tryouts, because it's like if you come back, we know you're crazy enough to keep going.
Mm.
And sure as shit, I came back. I was crazy enough to do it.
Wow.
And a bit of a fun fact: the very next week, so I've had my tryout. I can't remember if it was days, but I think it was a week.
Mm.
Had my tryout on day one. I think it was just me.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2, in comes a little name known as Ryan Rapid. I fucking love Ryan, but yeah, he started the week after me, and he did his stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he's gonna run this. He's gonna run this place in the next 5 years.
And you were right too.
And he was running the joint. Oh, I love RB4K. But anyway, that's
cheeky plug right there.
Cheeky plug, yeah.
Are they even still? They're not even still together, are they?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But either way, that was a fun time.
Mm.
I've got another little story that I just keep. I've always wanted to tell this story, and
come on, baby, you can't hold out. Let's go.
I don't know if Ryan might remember it, Tricky might remember it. I don't know, but we were at a training session, and we we're coming up to the Destiny Battle Royale. This was 2014. Mm-hmm. So I had been training for about 3 months, and we're going through what to do in a rumble, eliminations, how to get thrown out safely, and all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And like I said, mind you, we're all marks. I still didn't know what necessarily was. Getting in there, I thought, okay, everything's fake. You don't hit each other, this and that. Tricky is like, all right, you know how to get thrown out, you know how to do this. Ring the bell, just find someone, work with them in the corner. And so naturally, I grab Ryan, we start throwing punches, and then I go to chop him.
Oh God.
No, but here's the thing. You know what I did instead of really chopping him? I chopped myself. I checked. I did that. We're doing that shit. Because I didn't know you're supposed to just flog them.
Yeah.
Tricky very quickly grabbed me, wrapped me around the ropes, lifted my top up, and go, "This is how you chop." Bang!
Oh God!
I'm like, oh. I really, really hope he doesn't get angry for me telling that story, but I'm really grateful he did that because if there's one thing we don't want to do, we don't want to show that we're not hurting people. We want to, the chop is the realest thing you can do.
Yeah.
And look, I'm probably going to cop so much for destroying kayfabe here, but I don't give a no.
Well, I did say this before that that amazing match between the boss and Som from, was it Equalizer or
Never in Your Wildest Dreams, I think.
It's Never in Your Wildest Dreams.
Yeah.
I texted Som because I was really worried because like I don't know if you remember, I was only literally like two rows in. I can actually see that Som's chest was just red.
Oh my God, that thing.
And seeing Allur's chest, I'm like, okay, he's not too bad, but Som is not in a good way. And I texted him. I think it was like after midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, and I didn't get a response till like 9 o'clock the next morning. He goes, "Oh, I'm fine," and then 20 minutes later, he goes, might want to show you something." So and then he's taking a photo and oh shit. Are you all right? He goes, yeah. I just can't breathe that pretty well at the moment, but I'll be fine. I went, oh my God. Because if you guys have not watched that that match, it's 15 minutes of chops, body shots, and emotion.
Oof.
Oh man,
what a match!
It was such a good match. And if you guys are there, you can hear me like I was like, don't break up Conflict Axiom. Obviously, I'm doing. Obviously, I'm in character, but just doing all this. I haven't told many people this. I actually had people actually ask me, what happens if Conflict Axiom break up? I'm like, they're not breaking up. Shut up. Don't talk to me.
I can tell you right now that'll never happen.
No.
Look, I know Laws said this before. There may be moments we need to fight each other, but it's a brotherhood at the end of the day. It's your brothers fight. It's just what you do. It's competition. It's fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to have a match with Chris Law.
Yeah,
I've had a match with Blake Curtis. He killed me. I've wrestled with Nate Nitro. That was fun. Did I wrestle with Som?
No, not yet.
No, I haven't wrestled Som yet.
Yeah, and considering you're the resident rookie kicker of APW, you probably should. But he's not a rookie anymore.
He's not a rookie anymore.
No.
But don't you worry. Oh, we'll get to the rookie kicker stuff too.
Oh yeah,
mate. This is going to be a four episodes worth of shit we've got here. I'm telling you.
Oh my God. No, but also one of the reasons why Conflict Axiom will never break up, because I love the Conflict Axiom money that I get for wearing their merch. So keep buying their merch, guys. Oh shit.
So anyway,
sorry, Chris Law.
Take two. Well, where was I? I told you that. I told you that story of
talk about the chops.
I just want to say again. I just want to go on record to say, I'm very grateful that Tricky did that. That was a very important lesson, and you can bet I've never checked a chop again.
Well, I love your chops. Well, I've never taken one, and for sake, do not ever chop me. Even if it's for the vlog, I'm not getting chopped. As I say that, I got a feeling when we meet up next time, reckon that might happen. For someone who's not a wrestler, I've taken a couple of bumps already. Like I've had the second show that we did at Alpha, and I've got to ask you to find the footage. Remember how there was, that step ladder was just too tight?
Oh yeah.
And I fell and scraped my knee.
I've got that.
Yeah. Please send them through. But also at the last Alpha show, I had my entire, and I don't think it's even grown back. If you can't even see it there, I haven't got my chest hair back because Adam ripped it out.
Oh, I love you, Adam, so much.
Well, yeah, but so obviously, you've gone through the ropes, and we're talking about the Destiny Battle Royal. But how long before you actually got into the ring and made your debut, and who was it against?
Okay, so my actual debut, because I suppose we don't count Rumbles necessarily.
I still count the Rumble, but that was 2014's
2014 Destiny Battle Royale.
Yeah, because I was there.
I was in that as me. I was not James Marshall. I was just
Yeah, that's right.
it was me.
But hang on, is that the one where you're wearing that blue oh my god,
No, it wasn't a blue shirt.
flannelette? Wasn't it the fun? Wasn't it the
No, no.
blue
So
flannelette?
that was my debut. That was James Marshall's debut.
Ah,
In
right.
the battle royale, I was wearing a black shirt with a chicken on it that said "Moo."
Yeah. Okay. Now I remember.
We're gonna chuck that photo on the screen.
Oh, please send that through because
Yep.
I haven't even thought about that in years.
I've got that. Yeah. As at that time, I wasn't thinking about character stuff. I was just thinking, especially back then, how stupid and silly can I be? What's more silly than a chicken saying "Moo"? Makes no sense. Just like that cactus over there. Doesn't make sense.
Mm.
But anyway, so we'll go to the actual debut. It was PCW Slam 132. I'm pretty sure. I remember it like it was yesterday. I got the message from Tricky saying, "Hey man, this is your time, and your opponent is the Brick Wall Lee Burns."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I want to go on record. Again, everything I say is on record. I love that man, and I'm so grateful for everything he's done. And come out of retirement, you bastard, so I can wrestle you again. Please.
Yeah.
We
miss you here in the world of professional wrestling. Come back.
I don't care where it is, whether PCW, let me come back to wrestle you. We do it at APW, Alpha, anywhere. Everyone just, I want to see Lee Burns have one more match, and I want it to be with me.
And Lee, bringing back your tag team partner Kazi as well.
Oh,
Brick Kazi, like, how good would it be for? Well, I was going to say Conflict Action, but Caliber versus Brick Kazi.
That's a dream match. That's a dream match.
If that isn't a dream match and the dream match today, I don't know what is.
I'm gonna say I owe Mikaze a swift kick to the face.
Was this the Australia Day Rumble that you're referring to?
No.
Because I remember that.
Australia Day Rumble.
It was oh god, I can't remember. It was 2015 or 2016. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I'm pretty sure you got it was either a super kick or it was a drop kick, and you got your beauty on that one.
I don't know if it
was that the Australia Day Rumble?
No, I don't think I was in that because I was only there from 2014 to 2015.
Oh, okay.
I was essentially there for a year. Because my last match for PCW essentially was the 2015 Destiny Battle Royale.
Okay. I got my timelines wrong.
Yeah, but so no, there was a match. Well, actually, before we get to that, I just want to say again, this match with Lee Burns was everything I'd hoped it'd be. My first time in front of a crowd. Oh God, did they hate me so much? I spoke too much, and they hated me. It was great, but he kicked my ass and he looked after me, and I'll never forget that. That was one of my favorite matches ever.
Was this in the shed, or was this at the?
This is at Hallam.
In the Hallam school, high school, right?
Yeah, Hallam Secondary.
Yeah. I was hoping it was going to be in the shed because I've said this multiple times to people that've been at PCW. I miss that shed.
Yeah.
It really reminded like the one closest to it was the old APW shed. Like that they both have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that, but no, anyway, what was it? So after that, so technically I only had 2 official matches before I was gone again. And so that second match was me and Chris Trio versus Mikaze and Fury. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Fury.
I love Fury.
I mean, I just side note, oh god, I'm gonna try and not cry on this one. Absolute sweet human being. I remember being told what happened.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to, but I remember, finding that out. It was very, very heartbreaking.
I know.
But with that being said, whenever Fury comes up, I always like to think about the good shit. And again, he did a lot for me. Like I'll be honest, he taught me how to scoop slam. He taught me how to pick people up and throw them. Because look, at that time I was very shy, very nervous. I didn't like to ask questions. And don't get me wrong, look, Tricky, Mark, Toma were great teachers. But if there was something I wasn't sure about, I didn't ask the question.
Yeah.
But Fury saw, and yeah, he took me out of the ring, and he's like, right, here's what you do: you put your hand here, you put your hand here, and then boom, and I'm picking him up and nearly throwing him around outside the ring. But he didn't have to do that, but he did.
I've got two memories of him that live rent free in my head. The first one, every time I used to see him at the merchandise stand without the face paint. Um, one of the most friendly, sweetest guys you'll ever meet. But the other time, and I always this always makes me smile because even he had a good laugh at it. He
Mhm.
was doing a promo just after a match. I can't remember who he beat, and he was saying oh, I'm gonna beat this person up, and then he was name dropping everything, and then he said his own name by accident.
I think I know this one.
Yeah, yeah, and he literally kept going, and then the crowd just goes, "You're gonna fight yourself?" He goes, "But, of course I fight myself. I fight myself every time, you know." And then he just kept going with promo. It gold,
What a
and
champion.
I miss that man.
Me too. Again, he's another person I would have loved to have wrestled again.
Mm.
But yeah, look, we had that tag match, and again, it was my first tag match. I think so. Originally, I was supposed to team with Elias. He was at the time, Prince Elias.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
This was before WWE's Elias. Of course, I was supposed to team up with him, but I think he was sick or he was unavailable or something. So they specially asked. They got Chris Trio in for me, who he was a rover. He was the big show guy. He was main guy. So he was never really on slams as much. So that was cool, getting to team up with him. Um, but anyway, in that match, at some point, Mikaze just lit me up with the stiffest insecurity I've ever felt in my life.
Oh no.
I'll have to send it to you. And hell, I'd love to throw it on here because you just see me. I'm already staggered from something, and I think I forgot the spot. I think I forgot what's coming next.
Mm.
And he's just looked at me and gone, "Oh well," jumps, bang, and cleans me the up, and I dropped like a bag of shit. And I remember like the next night when he saw the footage, and the next time he's like, "Oh my god, bro, are you okay?" Like, so again, just to kill the business here. But he's like, "Dude, are you okay?" I'm so sorry. I'm like, "I'll get you back. Don't you worry." I know it's in my messages somewhere, but
I
that was so good though. He looked after me.
I was literally about to say his shoot name. I love him. Just so
Oh, he's
yeah.
someone again. I would love to wrestle him again.
I would love him to come back into the ring.
I've
Um,
always, I've reached out to both of them. I said, look, I want to do this. It'd be really, really fun. Um, Lee he needs some more convincing. Same with Mikaze. I think we just need I just need all the wrestling fans in Australia to be like, do it, do it, do it, do it.
well, I know I always say make sure to use the hashtag James Marshall OnlyFans to make it happen, but let's get the hashtag movement of Rikazi, please come back. Let's make that happen because
Yes.
I'd love to see it. Like if it be somewhere where I work where I can call it, even better.
Even if it's a once off, I call it me being a bit of a mark, but I just really want to have that match one more time.
Why
I
don't we
do it.
just like shooting the on this one? Sorry, Pierce Austin. For your content for your OnlyFans, why don't we just have a match at the at APW Arena and sorry, Adrenaline Zone, just all of us. And then there we go.
Oh,
For
that's some money.
15.95, you get to watch a classic match.
Well, that ruins my original plan of just putting photos of you on there.
See, I told you guys, this is not. This was not. It was all my dream, but I knew that was going to be what he does.
Oh,
Hang on, insane that. Sorry to go on another tangent, but were you gonna put like my face on the photos, or are you actually just gonna try to convince me to actually take the actual photos?
oh no, I was just gonna take candid photos of you at shows.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just you sitting in the crowd. Like there's gonna be there'll be no lewds on my OnlyFans. It's just gonna be random photos of Dan sitting in the audience with his camera and doing podcasts.
I don't do that anymore because I want to. So one of the main because I had a couple of people ask me this, why don't I do any more vlogcasts from shows? Because I don't want to live through my camera anymore. I really want to go back to just being a fan.
I respect that.
And and this is way before I started working Alpha. I actually made the conscious decision to not do it anymore. I mean, I will take stuff for Instagram over stories, but I'm not going to do that anymore because one, it's a lot of work to put those vlogs to on the internet, but two, I was actually literally just like trying to get the best shots, and I want to be a fan. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not being paid to film.
I respect that. I will say I loved watching the vlogcast because it's always nice to see the fan perspective of everything. And I'll be the first one to say I watched all the vlogcasts religiously just to be a mark and see myself. But no, but that's the thing. I love behind the scenes stuff, and what you were doing was the closest we had to behind the scenes at the time, and it was just really, really cool to see this camera in the middle of a sold out crowd and see what we're doing in there, not from the official cameras.
And that's the end of part 1 of James Marshall's interview. The next couple of parts will be coming out in the next week or two, and it's going to be very interesting because we get on a lot of tangents and just have a lot of fun. So, with that being said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. Want more from What If It's Cool? Make sure to check out the YouTube channel where you can find the latest episodes of Mukbanging Around, Reaction, and of course the podcast. And don't forget to follow What If It's Cool on all socials. It can be found at What If It's Cool. Keep that sport coming. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.